So no spoilers in the thumbnail or the title. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you have already seen AEW Dynamite and you know who the competitors are that will be joining Blood and Guts. So there'll be no spoilers until the intro. So shall we just hit the intro and get into some spoiler talk about Blood and Guts. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about AEW Dynamite. We are talking about the revelation of who the mystery participants will be in this year's Blood and Guts match, the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club. But before we dive into that, please hit subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below, and thank you all very much for being so supportive and understanding the lack of content that I've been giving you. It really means a lot. You are all the best. I love you all very much. So shall we dive into this, because it was revealed on Dynamite, it was hyped up a lot. We would be revealing who the mystery participants are in Blood and Guts. So we'll start off with the Blackpool Combat Club side, because this for me was probably the most surprising of the revelations that came. I think we were all speculating it could have been anyone. There was a lot of people it could have been for the Blackpool Combat Club. All the people that Don Callis has connections with, like Jericho maybe showing up, like CM Punk, as he pitched he wanted to be in Blood and Guts. But it actually turned out to be a returning Pac. The bastard Pac came down and helped in the beatdown of Kenny Omega with the aid of Don Callis, John Moxley and Takeshita. And this was really effective. I'm really happy to see Pac back. I think he is a fantastic wrestler, really not necessarily underutilized, because he's had a lot of showcases on Dynamite, like the Best of 7 series with the Elite. He had the AEW, he was the inaugural international champion. He had the amazing Iron match in the beginning of Dynamite. So I think Pac has done a lot, but he still feels underutilized to his potential. And I think reigniting this feud with Omega is really cool. I really like the addition of Pac, and seeing him in a Blood and Guts environment is going to be really fun, because he is of course a flippy boy. He's a hard-hitting boy. I think he's a, what's the word? There's a word that I am looking for and it's not coming to me. Inspired. I think he's an inspired choice to be in Blood and Guts and join the Blackpool Combat Club. We'll see where it goes from there. I think there's some speculation we can do when I talk about the second competitor who's been announced. So we'll move on to that. We'll park that little Pac tangent that I was about to go on for a moment as we talk about who is joining the Elite side. The Elite side, it is of course Kota Ibushi reuniting the Golden Lovers, and we now have the Golden Elite competing in AEW Blood and Guts. This is going to be awesome. I think this is going to be awesome. Having Kota Ibushi there with Kenny Omega, so many storyline possibilities and so many interesting ways they could take this. I am so excited for Blood and Guts. I'm probably in the minority. I don't think the Blood and Guts matches have been as good as they were initially hyped up to be. I think they're all remembered for a spot, essentially. The Jericho falling off the first one and the Eddie Kingston Claudio finish to the last one. I can't remember anything else apart from the finishes, so I think they've been a little bit underwhelming. But I think this one really has the potential to blow everyone away with the additions of Pac and Kota Ibushi, because they are going to hit very hard and do some very scary, very crazy things. And it'll be a nice bookend to the story, to the Blackpool Combat Club Elite saga that we've had. I think this needs to be the end of it, and you can move on and do probably tag team stuff with Omega and Ibushi and the Bucks, maybe a bit of friction there, Hangman caught in the middle. I think there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. And let's bring back Pac from a Pac tangent. I think Pac is a great first feud for Kota Ibushi in AEW. I think they would have tremendous chemistry, and you could just easily work around the history with Omega. You know, Pac beat him in that Iron Man match. There's so much you can do with Omega, Ibushi and Pac that will make a really nice sort of introductory feud to Kota Ibushi, because a lot of the mainstream audience that AEW has probably aren't familiar with Ibushi's work in New Japan. And there's just so much you can do there. I think spinning off from this, where I want to see people go from Blood and Guts, I think vying for the tag titles is Ibushi and Omega. I think that's a really good step to take them in. I think vying for the trios titles, the Bucks and Hangman. I think looking for ways you can separate and branch off this elite story. You need some new combinations. So I think doing the Hung Bucks going for the trios and Omega and Ibushi going for the tag titles is actually a bit more different. And the trickier scenario to look at is, what do you do with the Blackpool Combat Club? Because the Blackpool Combat Club, I think, are going to lose this match. I think this is going to be a victory for Kenny Omega and the Elite. So I don't really know what you do with Blackpool Combat Club after that. Maybe you give them a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a break from TV, and then have them come back when someone else has won the world title, and you can immediately insert the Blackpool Combat Club back into the main event scene. Maybe you could go that way. Maybe you could get another Mox Kingston match. It seems like we're heading in that direction, and potentially even if you wanted to elongate this a little bit but keep them separate, have Claudio and Yuta vie for the tag titles as well. So you have maybe another tournament, maybe another settle match, contenders match, battle royal with Ibushi and Omega and Claudio and Yuta in that regard. And then you have a nice direction to maybe have them in the finals and have, we've rekindled this. We have rekindled the Blackpool Combat Club Elite stuff. I think that's the way they should go. I don't see anyone sort of in this mix vying for the world title. The only person who I could potentially see vying for the world title is Pac, maybe at All In, but I don't necessarily, he's a heel. I get MJF as pseudo babyface with Cole, but I don't see that necessarily working now that he's been brought back as a heel, because he would be an over babyface at Wembley Stadium. So that's what I think of Blood and Guts. That's what I think of these editions. I think they're really good for storylines, and they can really freshen up a lot of stuff. I've completely forgotten that Collision existed doing this, because there's also the possibility of people going on Collision and Pac feuding with Punk, Pac feuding with Starks, Pac feuding with Hobbs, Andrade, maybe get some Malachi action in there as well. There's a lot of stuff you can do, because it's so big. AEW is so big, you forget they've got this completely other show with completely fresh faces that could vie for titles. I think sadly the TNT title has fallen very far down the pecking order, unfortunately. I don't want to see any of these guys vie for that. Sorry. So yeah, that is it. That is my video. That is what I think should happen post Blood and Guts, and my thoughts on everyone in the match, the new competitors that have been revealed. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you like the additions to the match? Do you hate it? Let me know everything you want down in the comments, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.